Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your main man, Positive B White, and today is Saturday, and I just wanted to kind of check in with you guys. And we've been having a lot of conversation, me and some of my peers, and the question gets asked a lot, and that question is, should you go to college? Yes or no? So I wanted to kind of jump in and kind of give some insight. And if you're on the fence about, you know, going to college, you're just graduating high school, or you're out of high school and you've been, working or whatever, military, and you are trying to make a decision or not if you think you should go to college. So I just kind of want to jump in and do a quick video just kind of discussing the pros and cons of that decision because that decision will ultimately affect you, your family, and it is some obviously some truth to. I have some statistics actually in front of me, and the interesting thing is I don't want this video to sway you, um yay or nay to go to college or not. I'm just simply here to kind of give you some insight about the decision you're going to make, if it's a good decision, what are the pros and cons of that decision, and ultimately just help kind of guide you in the direction that you want to go in regards to making that decision. So I just kind of want to dive in, and this video won't be too long, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, because I gotta run out here in a few. So should you go to college or not? Yes or no? Now, I kind of want to dive in and talk to you about the decision, what your options are. Now, of course, you have different options in going to college. You can go to a HBCU, you can go to a vocational school, you can go to a trade school, and you can go to a traditional 4-year university. You can go to a 2-year university, community college. So you have different options that you could choose from, and I just kind of want to run through some of those with you, so you knew what you knew what some of your options were. So one of the statistics that I have right here in front of me, and this is actually a 2019 study, so maybe 2 years old. So of course it says this is one of the dramatic, significant decisions that you'll make in your life, which is very true. You know what I mean? It's definitely something to think about and have discussion with, yourself and your family to make sure it's the right fit for you. Because obviously you can, join the workforce, you can be an entrepreneur, you can join the military, and it's just other things you can do besides going to college. But the statistics show that earnings are higher for those with a bachelor's degree, but there are also excellent, well-paying options that only require a high school diploma. So it kind of gives you some insight into the decision-making process. Now, I want to dive into these. The occupation you want requires a degree. So obviously, you'll go to school and do a program that ultimately, hopefully, that program is what you want your career to be aligned with. So, for example, like in my case, I went to school for business. I attended the University of West Georgia and also Clayton State University. But I originally opted for a computer science major. But after a year in, I decided to switch that major, and I went down into the business, marketing, and advertising route. So the decision that I made was I always wanted to be a business owner. So at 16, I knew I wanted to own a business. So entrepreneurship was definitely one thing that I wanted to look more into. So when I went to school, like I said, I switched majors, and then I went down the business uh, side, and I enjoyed it. I gained a lot of insight on my career path, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I used my classes to help me in my studies as an entrepreneur and business owner. And those classes did help and give me some insight. Now, did I necessarily have to go to college to get that insight? Not really. They have online courses that you can take that are, business oriented. So it's not necessarily, I didn't need to go, but it was my personal choice to go. And obviously you have different options because you can go on a scholarship. They have grants that you can get. Definitely you have student loans that you can pull out, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But Obviously a scholarship is a great way to attend a university or college because all you have to do is maintain, a certain GPA level and perform on the field, and you basically get your school paid for free. Now there are some external things that you may have to pay for here and there, but obviously your schooling will be paid for. And then another thing is I want to make sure that you understand on a scholarship, you'll get basically they'll pay your tuition for 4 years. So anything over that, then you'll be responsible for. So I just kind of want to run that down to you as well. And will that degree, the degree, if it helps with your career advancement, which is true, it will provide some valuable skills. It will ultimately increase your earning potential. I agree with that to a certain extent, and you can begin building a professional network. And lastly, taking a variety of classes will expose you to other career options. So I pretty much agree with all those pros. And the one that stands out, the two that stands out are actually it will help you begin a professional network. And that's very true because obviously the classes that you take, you will meet friends and peers and individuals that are aligned in your same, kind of mindset. So you'll be able to meet these individuals and peers, and you guys can share insight on what it is you actually want to do, whether that's, starting a business or working at a Fortune 500 company or being a manager or whatever the case it is, whatever you want to do. So you'll meet peers who have the same mindset and want to do the same thing that you want to do. So I do agree with that. And taking a variety of classes will expose you to other career options. Like I said, when I got to college, I originally started out in computer science. And the reason I did that was because I was the generation that we were raised with the internet. The internet kind of just had took off while I was growing up, so we were able to utilize it. But I also remember, having to go to the library and look at the dictionary and the thesaurus. And I remember when they actually used to come to your house, knock on the door, ring the doorbell, and they had encyclopedias, dictionaries, and you had the opportunity to buy those things because that's how we used to do things. But then once the internet came, I don't know if you remember the dial-up system, but it was like real loud. We had the AOL dial-up system, but so those were things that kind of helped mold us into the mindset we have today. But everything now is pretty much technologically based and it's internet based. So all you need is a computer, laptop, iPad, and you're pretty much good to go. So those, I do agree with those. You can build a professional network. You will meet professors and students who are aligned and know have insight about what you're trying to do. So I do agree with that. And the variety of classes will expose you to other career options. And then don't forget that a lot of people will gain degrees in one area and work in a totally different area. Their career would be the complete opposite of what they got a degree in. And that's okay, and that happens. So be mindful of that because that can be something that happens down the line. So, take that into consideration and understand that just because you get a degree in something doesn't mean you necessarily have to go out and get a career in that. And I want to kind of go into some of the cons of going to college because I didn't want to sway you either way. I just wanted to give you valuable insight. So the career you want to pursue doesn't require a degree. So obviously you have careers out there that don't even require a degree. As long as you have a high school diploma, you can get the job. So you might not necessarily need that. And then as well, being a business owner or entrepreneur, you don't necessarily need to have a college degree. As long as you're willing to learn and willing to go through some ups and downs and, get some bumps along the way, you'll be okay. Ultimately, in the end, you'll be okay. So just keep that into consideration as well. And then you're more interested in partying than studying. While that is very, very true, college, of course, you will meet a lot of friends. It's very social. So, and depending on what school you go to, HBCU or school that's out in the middle of nowhere, you will have the option to party. And partying is definitely something that comes with college. And Don't get me wrong, it's a part of it, and you might enjoy that. You know what I mean? I attended parties. I was able to do my work as well, but I did attend parties and have fun. You know what I mean? And you want to do that because at the age most people are going to college around 17, 18 years old. From 17, 18 to about 22, that's the kind of normal age that a college student would be. So that those are your years where you're being social, you're going out, you're partying, you're meeting people, you're having fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just want to make sure that you have a good balance of social life and then of course doing your work. So if you're a partier, you might want to consider, other options. You may just want to work and then do your partying on the weekends. But that choice is totally up to you. I don't want to sweat you either way. I'm just here to give you insight. And another con is your parents think college is important, but you really don't want to go. And this is a decision that is completely up to you. Definitely get insight from your parents, especially if your parents have went to college. Definitely you want to get insight from them about the process, because ultimately, if you don't have scholarships or grants or the hope, then you'll possibly have to have them help you out because you'll have to acquire what we call student loans. And student loan debt is another thing that you want to kind of think about because it can be a con in going to college. You will acquire debt that is some debt ratios are very higher than others, but then you also have the option of attending a community college. And I keep looking at my clock because I got to roll out too as well. But you can attend community college, and those a lot of times those are 2-year programs, and then you can go to another university. So you have options, and then of course you can get a trade, and trade schools are very good because those trades often lead you down to getting an actual job. For example, if you go to school for air conditioning, AC, HVAC, you get your training certificate, and then you can walk out of there and go to a training and HVAC facility, show them your credentials, and they may hire you on the spot. You know what I mean? They may want to see you have maybe a year or two of experience, but obviously you just finished school, so you do have some experience. So those are just options that you can kind of go over in your head. But definitely talk to your parents because your parents may want you to go to college, but if you don't want to go to college, you're the one who's going to have to take out the loans and actually do the work and go through all the process. So definitely have a conversation with them and make sure that it's a good fit for you and them as well because you may need them to help with your loans. So I just wanted to kind of jump in and give you guys some insight on the process. So ultimately, the decision is going to be up to you if you attend the college or not. But I just kind of wanted to jump in and give you some insight about the process. If it's a good fit for you, yes or no, that choice is up to you. But definitely consider it. There are some pros and cons. So kind of go over it in your head, talk to your peers, talk to your parents, and hopefully you make the right decision for you. But also, you have different options. You can join the military, you can join the workforce. So you have different options. So take that in consideration. And I just want to give you guys some insight. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. This is definitely going to be on YouTube. So just drop them in the comments and I'll try to go through them and answer them the best way I can. Some I will know the answer to and some I won't. But if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. So hopefully this helps you, and we'll talk later. Be sure to follow me on all social media. I'm at Positive Be White across everything on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and I don't know if I'm missing anything, but check me out there, and we'll stay locked in. So y'all holla at me, and we'll talk soon. All right, peace.